Hello everyone and a very warm welcome. In today's demo, we are going to look at what a document converter can do beyond just converting a document to PDF. My name is Clavin. I'm a Microsoft Business Applications MVP and also a solutions consultant at Nutrient. So here I am in my SharePoint and I have got a folder with a number of documents. The documents that I can see are PPTX, are DWG files, TIFFs, XLSX, video, DOCX, and much more. I want to create a process with which I can convert these documents to PDF, any document type, and then add a watermark to it, secure it, and store it back into another folder known as process document. This is just one of the examples. With the document converter for SharePoint, you can do much more. So in this particular demo, I'm going to use Power Automate. Let me zoom in a bit so that you can see everything properly. And I'm going to create a new flow. So for this scenario, let's keep it simple. Let's use an instant flow. Instant flow helps you to trigger a flow by a click of a button. You can select a document in SharePoint. So I can say for a selected file, right? And I can point it to my SharePoint document library by selecting the site name and then the particular document library. And then I can actually process the file. To process the file, I'm going to use the Nutrient document converter. Now, one thing I would recommend is use the Nutrient document converter. We have a number of other converters, but the reason I tell you this is because it has all the actions in one place. Another thing you need to understand that this connector is not a premium connector. So if you have a normal license, it should work as well. That being said, if you look at the converter, it can do watermarking, it can do conversion, it can convert documents to PDFA, it can OCR. Yes, we'll talk about OCR in a bit. You can merge document, extract text, secure, import form fields, extract key value pairs, and even work with sensitive documents such as PII information. But for this demo, let's stick to the document conversion first. So the first scenario is document conversion. So I added the convert document action and it requires two parameters. The first parameter it needs is the file name. I have the file name out here, so this is good. The second parameter is the file content. I do not have the file content. I need to get the file content. To get the file content, I need to first get the file properties. So I will say file properties. So get file properties. Perfect. I'm going to give it the name out here. And the second one is that I'm going to point it to the particular document library. That is the Nutrient document converter. And then I need to pass it the ID, which is the identifier. Now I have the file properties, but I need to get the file content. So I'll say get file content. I'll say get file content using path. Out here, I'm going to pass in the identifier. Okay, so the identifier is the output of the get file content using path action. One thing that I want to understand. Irrespective of the file type, the document converter provided by Nutrient automatically picks up the document and converts it. You don't need to use different actions for converting different type of document type. For example, if you're converting DOCX, you don't need to use a DOCX converter. So one thing that I want to tell you out here is the Nutrient document converter will automatically pick up the document type based on file name because it has the extension and it will convert it into PDF. You can also cross convert into other file types, but let's stick to PDF for this particular demo. Now I have the document which has been converted. Okay. Next, what I want to do, I want to add a watermark. Let's say that I want to add a watermark. Now, watermarking is really, really important because watermarking helps you keep the document compliant, right? So I want to add a watermark. So to add a watermark, I'm going to use the add text watermark action. To the add text watermark action, I'm going to pass it the processed file content. Now, this is very important. I'm going to pass in the watermarking content. So what needs to be appeared on the watermark? So I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I'm going to say confidential, and let me add something that is dynamic. So I can say modified claim, modified email, or maybe I will say modified display, modified by display name. So confidential, and I'll say this document was last modified by the username. Okay. Now you can add multiple things out here. For example, if you want to add the date, you can add the date, you can add the timestamp. You can customize the watermark to the extent that you can think of. Okay. But for this demo, we are just going to use a simple little watermark with the modified confidential, and the document was last modified by the modifier display name. I'm going to make the watermarking look big. I think the color is fine. I'm going to align it to maybe center. Word wrap is good. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a bounding box. So let's make the width as maybe, let's make it 600. 600 by 600, right? And I leave the page orientation to both. It doesn't matter if it's landscape or if it's portrait. So that's good. And then I can say layer foreground is also fine. This is important because if you're using, if you have images, the watermark is usually hidden behind. But in this case, we can make sure that the watermark is in the foreground. So this is good. And then the opacity, I can just put it to 60%. So the watermarking is added, so that's good. I'm going to add something more. I also want to secure the document. So to secure the document, before I secure the document, I need to get a bit back because I missed out on a parameter. So I can say show all. It has multiple parameters out here, but what I want to do is, in fact, you can add watermarking to particular pages as well. I want to add the file name. So let me see. Yeah, the source file name. Now this is important. Okay, this is important. I'm going to say base file name.pdf, which is the output of the convert action. If your document was DOCX, you would pass in the file name. Okay, out here. So you can also watermark DOCX, XLSX, and PPTX files. So that's good. Finally, I'm going to pass in the source file content to the secure action. Now, secure action is used to secure the document. So I'm going to secure the watermarked document. So again, I will pass in base file name.pdf. I'm going to pass it an owner password. I'm not going to pass it an open password. Just put in my name out here. And let's say that I want to disable printing. Now, I don't want people to print my documents once it has been converted and watermarked. I don't want them to print, but you can add a number of restrictions out here, such as high resolution printing, content copying, annotations, feeds, etc. So you can do much more. Now about this, what you can do is that you can click on this action, and if you want to restrict everything, you can actually go to the documentation, which is on the official Microsoft Learn site, and you can copy it. Let's make it a bit interesting. I'm going to copy everything from here and just go back to the parameter and hit Control V. I missed the P, not our Clavin P, and this looks good. Now the document has been secured. Finally, I'm going to create the document back in my SharePoint. So this is going to be it. And I'm going to give it a folder path. So it's going to be the nutrient document converter. And I'll put it in a processed folder. Now, this is going to be interesting. And I'm going to pass it the base file name .pdf. And I'm going to pass it the processed file content, which is the output of the action secure document. At this point, I can just say document convert watermark secure, CWS. Cannot come up with a better name, okay? But that's good. So I have created a document workflow. It has been saved. Let me go back and let me run it. So let's pick up a file type and let's go ahead and convert it to PDF. So this is an instant flow. So I'm going to select, let's select the Word document. Click on Automate and document CWS is here. So that's good. And I can actually continue and run flow. So if I go back, it should have triggered the flow. And it's running. One important thing that many Power Automate like creators forget to mention is run only users. Now, I would recommend that you run this connector under the connection, okay? Because you don't want each and every user to be prompted when they are being asked to, run it. But if you see, as we speak, the conversion has been finished. So configuring run-only users with the connection is important. That's good. Let me go back. Let me go to the process document. I have here a document. So I'm going to click on it, right? And here, my friends, the document opens in the nutrient viewer. But here you see it has added a watermark, which is confidential. Document was last modified by Clavin Fernandez. It's all right. But let's go ahead and modify it a bit little. Because I think the watermark was on top center rather than in middle center. And I'm going to change the font color. So let's pick up a color. So color hex code. So if you don't, so it uses hexagonal colors. And let me use the red. So I'll go back, put this at red. This is too big, to be very honest. I'm going to put it at 24. And I am going to change another thing, which is going to be the rotation. I'll put it at -45. I will save it. At this point, I have quickly tweaked my watermark such that it can meet your company's requirement. This time, we are going to try it with a different type of file. So let me use the XLSX file and do the conversion. So here, I have started a conversion. If you see out here, the conversion is pretty quick. It took around 8 seconds. It's trying to watermark the document. It's trying to secure, and bang, it created the document. And I'm going to click on this document. So this is the third. So this is the online sales PDF. We can either open it in the PDF editor for SharePoint, which is again a nutrient product, or we can open it in the browser. If we open it in the browser, here, my friends, it nicely shows you the watermark. If I try to print it, nothing happens. If I try to download it, right, and try to open it in Adobe, maybe, and let's try to print it using Adobe. So here you see that when I try to print it, it prompts me for a password which I have set in my Power Automate. If I look at the document properties, right, you see printing is not allowed, document changing is not allowed, assembly is not allowed, and much of the things are not allowed. I think that's pretty much it. For this demo, I think we are good. So we have learned how you can quickly create a document processing workflow using the document converter from Nutrient. If you have any questions, please drop us an email at sales@nutrient.io. So thank you, have a great day, and bye-bye.